Okay, so come to a comfortable seat. You can sit with your legs crossed. You can sit on your heels, whatever feels comfortable. We're gonna do something, it's called shining skull breath. It is a stimulating breath because we are doing a snapping of the belly if you've never done Kapalabhati. What I wanna say during these times where a lot of us are kind of maybe anxious, nervous, overwhelmed, if doing the quick snapping belly is just gonna make you more anxious, more nervous, and more like, ah, you can slow it down. So you'll go slower. I just want to fire up your belly and I want you to feel that drawing in action. So I'm not so concerned about quick today. I'm concerned about what's really nourishing to you as well as what's going to help you get a good connection with your belly. And you'll see why when I talk about the fundamentals. So you can do quick, you can do slower. We're going to do 3 rounds. In the first round, we're going to start slow. So if that's a good tempo for you and you don't want to pick it up, don't pick it up. So rest your hands on your thighs. You can bring your hands about mid-thigh if that feels good, or a little bit closer to your hips. I like to push into my legs just a little bit so that I can bring my sternum forward, and then I'm really like the airway is open and clear, and there's free moving space for the pranayama. And so Kapalabhati, if you've never done it, it's the snapping of the belly. It's all about the exhale, about bringing the belly button in. And then the inhale, you let the belly relax and the breath just naturally comes in. Like the body wants to inhale. So all about the exhale. And what I'm looking for, if you need to slow the tempo down. But when you do it, have a steady tempo. So same speed. If you're going slow, just that's your speed. If you want to go faster, it's steady. So for the first round, we'll do about 20 because we're doing them a little bit slower. Option with the eyes, they can be closed if that's a comfortable, safe space for you. Sometimes it's nice to take away that sense because it's distracting. However, it's not always a safe place for people to have their eyes closed, and if that's you, that's perfect. Just find a really boring spot in front of you to focus your eyes on that isn't going to distract you. So set your eyes, set your hands, get your little wiggles out. And then take a deep breath before we go anywhere. And use your exhale as a way to land in your body, land in your mat. Deep inhale. Grounding exhale. And deep inhale. Grounding exhale. And let that breath go. So we'll do our first round of Kapalabhati. This one I want you to think like almost like you're blowing up a mattress, like that slow, steady pace, you know, like not when you first start blowing up the mattress, but a little bit further along when your arms are tired. So we'll do 20 rounds. So full inhale, full exhale, and inhale for our first round. Full exhale. Pause at the end of your exhale. Draw the belly in, hold the breath for a moment. Then inhale fully. At the top of your inhale, pause, hold the breath for a moment and draw the belly in. Then a nice, smooth, easy exhale. So that was the tempo for our first round. Stay there if that's like so perfect for you, or we'll pick up the pace a little bit. For this one, I don't know if you actually can hear me breathing through the computer, so I'll snap my fingers to start off with so you can feel the pace. So cleansing breath first, inhale fully. Exhale fully. And we'll inhale for our second round. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale fully. Pause at the end of the exhale. Keep the exhale like that and draw the belly in. And then inhale. Pause at the top of your inhale. Draw the belly in slightly. And release, exhale. Let that simmer for a sec. So we'll move on to our third round. You can do either the paces from the first 2 rounds if you'd like, or this round we'll pick up the pace and we'll go a little bit longer. So cleansing breath first, inhale. Exhale. Inhale for our third round. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full exhale. Pause at the end of the exhale. Draw the belly in. Hold the breath for as comfortable as it feels to hold the breath. And then when you need to inhale, at the top of your inhale, hold the breath, pause. Exhale fully. Eyes closed or soft gaze. Just take a few breaths in and a few breaths out. Before we go anywhere, this is an arm balancey flow. That means nothing. Arm balance is, there's levels for everybody. Someone who's never been on their hands before to someone who's pressing up from crow. So just know there'll be an option for you. I'll offer one end of scale to the other end of the scale, and you take it where you need it to. Before we go there, I just want you to know that you are strong, you're capable, you're fierce, you're grounded, and you're steady. I want you to say that to yourself. Instead of saying you are, though, I am. I am strong. I am capable. I am fierce. I am grounded. I am steady. Once more, I am strong. I am capable. I am fierce. I am strong. All right, I am steady. I am grounded. Replay that mantra in your mind over and over for the next hour, 24 hours, few days, as long as you need it. So slowly open the eyes if they're not already open. And we'll come onto hands and knees into a tabletop position. Place the palms, stack them underneath your shoulders. Knees, stack them underneath the hips. If you tap the toes, you're going to reach back through the balls of the feet, so there's a little stretching in the bottom of the feet, or untuck the toes and all 10 toes onto the mat so your feet are activated. But from here, inhale, send your chest forward, tailbone forward, and move your body forward. So there's a little stretch in the wrists. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, and send the sit bones back to the heels. Good. Inhale brings you forward, slightly forward of the wrists. Exhale, round and send it back. Once more like that. Inhale, forward, lift up. Exhale, back and round. Inhale to neutral. This time, walk your hands so that they're facing the outside of your mat. And then you'll sway from side to side once, twice, a third time. And then you're going to do figure eights. So you're going to go up and around your wrists from side to side. So arm balancing, obviously, that means we'll be on our hands, so we want our wrists warm. And we also want the flexibility of the wrists. Then come back through center. Flip the palms, let the fingers face the knees. And we'll do those cat and cows again. We'll inhale, we come forward. And then exhale, round and come back towards the sitting. They're sitting bones towards the heels. Inhale, chest comes forward, body comes forward. Exhale, round and send it back for 2. Inhale it forward. Exhale it back for 3. Pause here. Look forward. You can stay as you are. You could bend the elbows a little or a lot. And then the fingertips push into the ground. Take a big breath in. And a steady exhale. For a lot of people, this is a big sensation, so breathe into it. Good. Release the hands. Gently give them a shake. One more for the wrists. Bring the palms back down to the ground. And then you're going to flip it so that the top of the hand comes onto the mat and the fingertips point back towards your knees. You need to walk the knees in if it's a lot. For this one, we'll simply sway forward and back. You want to add the cat and cow, you can, but this is a lot of sensation again for people. So maybe just swaying forward and back and working the long arms is perfect for you. Stay with the breath. The next time you come back, pause here. Spread your fingers a little bit wider and push all 10 fingers into the mat. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Good. Another deep inhale. Deep exhale. Release your hands. Give your hands a little shake. Palms down, swing the feet around, and come to lie on your back. So I'm going to do this from the side so you can see me. But you're going to lie down on your back. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a reclined variation of all the arm balances as like a core exercise all at the same time. So come down onto the ground. Bring your hands out in front of you. Bend the elbows and imagine you're pushing your hands onto the ground. So for crow pose, the knees are going to come above the elbows, close to the armpits as you can get them. And then point the toes. Push into your imaginary floor, but keep your elbows at a 90 degrees. Good, and then push the knees into the elbows and the elbows into the knees for 10. Push harder, 9, 8, 7. If you're shaking, don't worry, you're not alone. 5, 4, keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Release, take a big breath in, keep your hands where they are. Take a big breath out. One more crow, knees come in. Good. Above the elbows, push the knees into the elbow and the elbows into the knees for 10, 9, only you know how hard you're working, 7, 6, keep breathing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, inhale, let your arms come wide for a second. Take a big, long inhale, take a big, long exhale. Okay, hands out in front, so we'll do twisted crow this time. Keep your elbows where they are, but twist your knees to the right. And then you're gonna have to lift your body up to bring your elbows onto, I'll twist this way actually so you can see me. Elbows on the outside of the thigh. And then you're gonna push the thigh into the hands and the hands into the thigh. You can rest your head if you like for 10, 9, push harder, 7, 6, 5, keep breathing, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, inhale. Full exhale. Okay, the other way. Push onto your imaginary floor in front of you. Knees twist to the left. Elbows come outside on the thighs. Push, push, push for 10, 9, keep pushing, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, keep breathing, 1, release, inhale. Let the arms come out wide, exhale. One more full inhale. One more full exhale. So we'll do our flying pigeon. Flying pigeon is where one knee stays on one leg, stays on one arm, and the other one comes up. So hands out in front of you on your imaginary floor. Tuck the knees into the triceps above the elbows. Pause. And then push really hard left knee, left tricep, and straighten the right leg. Point the toes for 10, 9, push, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knee in, release, inhale. Full exhale. Who would have thought not much moving could be such strong core, eh? A Canadian. Palms out in front of you, bend the elbows. Knees in. This time, right knee, right elbow stays, and you're gonna straighten the left leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knee in first, and then release, inhale. Full exhale. Whew. Okay, rock and roll up and down the spine. The last arm balance, we won't do reclining because it's a little tricky. And then find your way into a downward facing dog. You can jump back. You can step back. You want a vinyasa to get there, you can vinyasa to get there. In your downward facing dog, pedal your feet. Get steady in the hands. Check in with your breath. After a little bit of core, did you lose the breath? Did it get longer? Did it get shorter? Did you lose the control in it and it's just like gone wild? And if it has, bring it back in. Next, inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, right foot steps on the outside of the right hand, left foot on the outside of the left hand. We'll come into a malasana. So not everybody might have blocks, so if it's too much for your knees, just come up onto the balls of your feet. You're gonna be working a little bit harder, but that's okay. Hands in Anjali Mudra. Sink down with the sit bones, lift up with the crown of the head. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale. Exhale, fold over the legs, point the toes forward. It's a little bit wider of a forward fold. And let your head hang heavy. You can shake it no, you can nod it yes. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your spine. Keep your spine where it is. Exhale, hands to your hips. Bend your knees. Inhale, bring the torso up. Exhale, palms to the side, mountain pose. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Point the toes out to 10 and 2 o'clock. Exhale, sit down into your malasana. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale. Exhale, fold over the legs, point the toes forward. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, plant your palms, step your right foot back first. Step your left foot back, come into a high plank. So option's always to bring your knees down for vinyasa, and you don't have to keep the knees up. Inhale, shift forward, push into the palms. Exhale, lower halfway pause. All the way onto your tummy for this first one. All 10 toes in the mat. Inhale, lift your heart and hands. Stay here for an exhale. Inhale. Exhale, palms find the ground, tuck the toes. You can do knees up, knees down. You're gonna lift up on an inhale to a high plank. Bend the knees, exhale, downward facing dog. What's the quality of the breath? Come back to your mantra. I am strong. I am fierce. I am capable. I am grounded. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale, bend deeply into the knees, look forward. Exhale, left foot steps on the outside of the left hand. Right foot steps on the outside of the right hand. Sit down into a malasana. Get heavy in the sitting bones. Lift up your toes if you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, point the toes forward and fold over the legs. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold. Long spine or round spine, up to you. Inhale, come on up, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to your side, mountain pose. Close your eyes for a moment. Check in with how you're feeling. Check in with your breath. Check in with your body. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale and fold over the legs, forward fold. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, inhale. Toes come to 10 and 2 o'clock. Exhale, sit down into Malasana. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale here. Exhale, toes point forward, fold over the legs. Inhale, lifts the spine. Exhale, plant the palms. Left foot steps back first, then the right foot follows into a high plank. Push into the palms, protract the shoulders, so it's like someone has their hands between your shoulder blades and you're pushing your shoulders into them. Strong legs, look over a tall wall in front of you. Knees up, knees down. Inhale, shift your chest forward. Exhale, lower halfway of your up dog or onto your tummy. Pull the sternum forward and up. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. On every exhale, come to your mantra. So inhale, exhale, I am strong. Inhale. Exhale, I'm capable. Inhale. Exhale, I'm fierce. Inhale. Exhale, I'm grounded. Inhale. Exhale, I am steady. At the bottom of your exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Walk, step, or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold. Good. Tuck the belly in. Look up at the belly button if it feels good. Fingertips down on the ground. Push into the ground with your feet and your fingertips. Then bend deeply into the knees. Inhale and roll your way up. 1 vertebra at a time. Good. Take a breath in when you get there. Grounding, exhale. Inhale, arms come up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Tummy comes into a forward fold. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, inhale. Exhale, plant the palms, step, or see if you can float back without making any noise into a high plank. Shift your weight forward, inhale. Keep the pelvis high, exhale, lower halfway or onto your tummy. Hold the sternum forward and up, inhale, strong legs, everyone. Strong core, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lifts the right heel up to the sky. Exhale, steps it all the way to the front of the mat without making any noise. Inhale, come on up into a high lunge. If you like, the option's always to bring the knee down, but if you can, keep the knee lifted. Bring the hands into Anjali Mudra. Pull the right hip back, pull the left hip forward. Good. Draw the belly button in, sternum floats up. Gaze steady and forward. Breath is steady. Full inhale. Full exhale. Hinge forward from the hips. Look forward, steady point with the eyes. See if you can float the left leg up in one big movement into an airplane, and then lift your heart. So it's a chest opening. Point through the left toes. Point, 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 point through the left toes a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 1. At the end of the exhale, land the left toes back lightly. Inside of the right foot with the palms. Walk the right foot out as wide as your mat and bring the left knee down to the ground. So you can bring your right foot to 2 o'clock. Lift up all 5 toes in your right foot and then come onto the pinky toe side of your right foot. And you can start to sway back and forth. Get a little bit of movement. I like to think of it as dusting out my hips. Good, then come back, point the toes forward, palms down on the ground, and I want you to work this action of squeezing the right knee into the right tricep. Squeeze it in as hard as you can for 5. 4, squeeze it so hard that you're shaking. 3, 2, 1. Lift up the left knee, step back to a high plank, go straight to down dog, or mindfully flow through a little vinyasa. We'll all be in down dog. Big breath in once you get there. Long breath out. Inhale, left heel floats up. Exhale, step it lightly at the front of your mat. Inhale, come on up to a high lunge with the hands in Anjali Mudra, the center of the chest. Good. Draw the left hip back, draw the right hip forward. Draw the belly button in, rib cage down, but sternum up. Steady gaze forward with the eyes, and breathe here. Hinge forward with the hips. Come really light on the right toes and see if you can float it up in one big step. Airplane, lift the chest. Point through the right toes, point, point, point for 3. Inhale. 2. Inhale. 1. Bend the left leg so you can land the right toes lightly. Hands come down on the inside of the left foot. Walk it as wide as the mat and lower the right knee down. Lift up all 5 toes and come onto the pinky toe side of your left foot. And then start the swing back and forth, maybe side to side. Whatever feels good. I like to think like when I do these kinds of movements, it's like I have a little duster and I'm going into my joint and I'm dusting out all the gunk that built up from not moving or sitting or even from sleeping or exercise. Good. Then come back to stillness. Point the toes forward again, plant the palms, and then squeeze the left knee into the left tricep as hard as you can for 5. Squeeze a little bit more, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the right knee up, step lightly back to a high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog, maybe cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you get to down dog, take a big breath in. Take a long, steady exhale. Full inhale. Full exhale. Good. Bring the knees down to the ground. And have a look at me if you can. So this is the part where I'm going to get workshop-y for a minute, and then we're going to go back to flowing. So with all arm balancing, there's some mechanics that are very similar and that are the same for all arm balancing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The first is bone stacking bone. So you want your hands underneath your shoulders. The most common thing I see is people think their shoulders are this wide. Sometimes you see the close together, but you see wide more than not. So when you go down, look at your hands and actually ask yourself, like, are my shoulders stacked on top of my wrists? You can even ask a partner or a friend if you like. So that's step 1, is we want the hands underneath the shoulders. We want to stack that weight. Why? Because if we're out here and we're trying to hold everything into the midline, it makes it harder. Step 2 that's very similar with all of them is the gripping of the mat with the fingertips and pushing into the palms. So that's the tricky part, is to actually push into the ground when we're lifting up. But the more you push into the ground, believe it or not, it makes your entire body lighter. So hand stacking underneath bone, step 1. Step 2, hands are pushing into the mat and we're gripping the mat with their fingertips. Step 3 that's common for all arm balances is the elbow bending. So if you're trying to bend out here, and I'll show you in a crow as an example. If I'm trying to catch my crow out here, first off, can you see how that's probably gonna hurt my wrists if I do that for a long time, because I've just got all this weight out here. Second off, it's really hard to like pull everything into the midline. So when the elbows go back, you make these beautiful shelves with your triceps. So you can just land the knees on the tricep, and then it gives you the chance to actually push into the hands, specifically in this space between the thumb and the index finger. And then the other common thing with all arm balances, 2 more. 1 is the belly draws in, so the Kapalabhati breath, but you keep the belly in. You keep it in and you keep it up. And the next one are the legs. Everybody forgets about the legs. Arm balancing, what do we think? We're like, oh, arm balancing, we need a strong core and we need strong arms. Well, you also need a strong leg engagement, because if you don't, with crow for an example, if I come here and my legs are all floppy, look at how easy it is for my legs to just slide off my arms. If I come here and I point my toes See how strong that is? Like my knees are locked onto my triceps. So you want strong legs. That's my workshop-y bit. That's my breaking down. These fundamentals will go across all these arm balances that we do. So from your knees, come up onto the balls of your feet. So we're gonna come into our first arm balance. The option with all these arm balances is you can come to lie on your back and do them supine like we did if it's not a good time for you to be arm balancing or maybe you just don't feel like it. As you know, because we already did it together, supine is strong. You still are working hard, so you'll still gain strength. If not, if you want to try to arm balance, we'll start with crow. So hands out in front. Think about it, like, is that how wide my shoulders are? They're probably not a whole meter wide. Like most of the people on the line I know, you guys don't have shoulders out here. So think about that and place the palms down. Then next fundamental is pushing into the mat and gripping the mat with our fingertips. Then lift your hips up and bend the elbows at a 90 degree and the elbows squeeze into the midline as well. So lots of options for crow. First option is you place the knees on the triceps and you shift forward on your toes. And maybe this is what you're playing with crow, is just rocking forward and back and feeling that weight in your hands. For some people, that's huge. Maybe you rock forward, you lift up your left foot, and you do these like little toe taps with your right foot until all of a sudden the right one wants to float up as well, and you'll do both sides. Maybe you have a crow practice, and you're gonna have the knees on the triceps, and you're gonna float both legs up at the same time and squeeze in. Whatever one you're doing, you're gonna hold it for 5, 4, look slightly forward, breathe, 2, 1, lightly come down. Good, come into a Malasana, everyone. Bring the palms together. If you're supine, you stay supine, just relax. So we're gonna do a second one of that. So if you did left side up and you did toe taps with the right, you'll switch that around. If you have a strong crow practice, we're gonna play with what we're doing with our legs. And even if you're like strong crow practice, maybe you're like, I don't have a strong, like what does that mean? Doesn't matter, give it a try anyway. So heel toe the feet in, big toes touching, heels touching. Come up onto the balls of your feet and sink down. Hands out in front, so our fundamentals, palms down, stack them underneath your shoulders. Push into the mat, grip the mat with your fingertips, and then lift the hips up to make your little shells. Place the knees on the back of the triceps. So maybe you're doing the right foot up and you're doing little toe taps. If you're lifting both up at the same time, lift both up. Look forward. And then you're gonna lower down, tap the mat and lift back up. Lower down, tap the mat with both feet, lift up. We'll do 2 more. Lower down, tap, and up. Lower down, tap, up, pause, and either step or float back to a high plank, down dog, everyone. Whatever that looks like for you, doesn't matter. You can step right back into a down dog. Then when you get there, check back in with your breath. Check in with how you're feeling. There's a lot of information I'm tossing at you because an hour isn't really that long. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift your heart and gaze. Exhale, fold. Bend deeply into the knees, inhale and roll your way up. Mountain pose. When you get there, just take a steady inhale. Steady exhale. Steady inhale. Steady exhale. Inhale. Bend the knees. Come into a chair pose with the hands in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right elbow to left knee. Come into a twisted chair. So push the palms in towards one another. If you like, feet can be together or apart. It's up to you. Feet together is nice because then you can push the knees in. Good, then pull the sternum forward and around. Look down at your left big toe. Tuck your right leg into your right glute for a little flamingo pose. Then straighten the right leg, tap the toe down, and bring the leg back in. We'll do 3 of those. Straighten the right leg, tap the toe down. If you fall down, just come back. Bring the leg in for 2. One more length, tap the toe down with control. Bring it back in, pause. Right foot comes down. Good, and then sit down in your twisted chair. So, side crow. I'm gonna move so you can just see me a little bit better. So you're twisted to the left. So option 1 is you come down onto your spine and do it. Option 2 is you also stay here. This is strong, like a twisted squat. Option 3 is you bring your hands out to face the left side of your mat. And then fundamentals, so stack the hands underneath the shoulders, push into the palms, grip the mat with the fingertips, draw the belly button in and up, bend the elbows, make a little shelf. And then what you want to do is you want to lift up, place the weight into your hands. Maybe you lift the right leg only, smush around here so you can see. Maybe you lift the right leg and that's where you stay. Maybe the left leg follows. So traditionally, we're in a little tight ball for twisted crow. Give it a try for 5. Do you get it? See if you can hold it for 4. And then see if you can lift your feet up higher, lift your chest. 3, 2, 1. Come down. Untwist the legs, fold over the legs. Grab opposite elbows and let your spine get heavy. When you get there, take a breath in. Take a breath out. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. So just be mindful that, especially with these twisted ones, one side's gonna probably feel a little bit lighter than the other side. That's fine, that's normal. Know that you're not alone. Take another breath in here. And another breath out. Inhale, bend the knees, hands in Anjali Mudra. Exhale, sit into your chair and twist to the right. Elbow comes to knee, knee to elbow, push the palms in towards one another. Get steady in the hands, steady in the legs. Look down at the right big toe. It helps to have a steady gazing point with the eyes. And then lift the left leg up into flamingo. Stay here or straighten the left leg, tap the toe down, and then bring it in. Straighten the left leg, tap the toe down for 2, bring it in. One more, straighten the leg, tap the toe down, bring it in for 3, pause. And then lower the foot down and sit down into your twist. So I'm gonna move around so you guys can see me again. So from here, maybe you stay here. Maybe you come onto your back and you twist from a supine position. Place the palms down so that they face the right side of the mat. Stack your bones, push into the ground, grip the mat with your fingertips, make your little shelf. So it could just be a little tiny, like sometimes you just need a tiny bend so that your elbows know what direction you want them to go in. Lift the hips up a little, look forward, shift the weight forward. Maybe you only lift the left leg and you do little toe taps with the right. Maybe both come up and you push into the palms. Give it a try, play with it for 5, 4, Fraser, push into the palms more. 3, 2, nice guys, nice Megan, nice Amy. 1, okay, come back through center. This time, have a seat on your heels, flip the palms up, close your eyes for a moment, and just take a steady breath in, and a steady breath out. Steady inhale. Steady exhale. Another inhale. Full exhale. Okay, so we're gonna do our flying crow. So this one is interesting. So this one, we're gonna take it at different places. So if you're like, I could probably try and lift up one leg from crow, then you will stick with me in a sec. This is for you guys that are like, maybe not. So I'll give you a nice place to start with it. So it'll be the same fundamentals, and I'll talk you through it in a sec. But if you're like, I probably am not going to go to crow. So I'll show you what flying crow is actually first. So you come to crow, and then you lift up one leg. And then it comes back down. So if you're like, maybe not, that's fine. What you're going to do is you're going to play with the right knee and the right tricep. And you're going to stick here, and you're going to lift up the left leg. You guys see that okay? Maybe I'll do it from the side. So you come into, like, you're going to go to crow. Then you do all your weight into your right hand. And you lift up the left leg, and you hold it for 5. Okay? That's option 1. Option 2 is actually the first option I showed you with flying crow. So everyone come into a little squat. Oh, option 3 is doing it reclined as well. Oh. I've realized I have to learn how to like teach and practice at the same time. Hands out in the front, palms down on the ground, so same fundamentals. Spread the fingers wide. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Push into the palms, bring a little bend to the elbows, and then lift the sit bones up, knees onto the triceps. Shift your weight forward. You're gonna feel it when your hands, like when you get that bone stacking weight. So option 1 is you keep the right knee, right tricep, and you straighten the left leg from here. Option 2 is you shift your weight into your hands. And you shift your weight into your right arm specifically and lift up the left leg. Whatever option you do, you're gonna hold it for 5. You fall out of it, keep trying. Look forward a little bit, everybody. 2, yeah. Look forward, it's tempting to look at your legs. 3, I lost count. Let's do one more breath. Good, come on down. Knees down on the ground, take a child's pose. Let the arms get heavy. Let your breath get heavy. Take a moment to rest. So we're flying through these in an hour practice. When this class is done in like 15 minutes or whatever it is, know that you're gonna be able to try these afterwards. Sometimes it's nice to take a big long shavasana and then try again. So don't worry if you didn't get it this time. You can try again in like 20 minutes. So come up onto the balls of your feet. Bring your hands out in front. Place your palms down on the ground. So the same fundamentals. You're stacking the bones. You're gripping the mat. You're pushing into the palms. Lift your sitting bones up. Bend the elbows back so they have your nice little shelves. Bring the knees onto the triceps. So maybe you keep the left leg down and you straighten the right leg from here, and then you're going to put as much weight as you can in your hands and look slightly forward. Or maybe you come up to crow first and then lift up the right leg. Whatever variation you're doing, breathe. For 5. If you fall out of it, come back into it. 4, 3. Point the toes. Fraser, if you want to do it, you have to point the toes and push into the palms to get really light and then lift. 2. You got it. Okay, come back. Rest in child's pose for a moment. Take a really grounding breath in. Really grounding breath out. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. Come back and up into a downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, step, walk, or float onto your sitting bones at the front of your mat. We still have one more arm balance, but we're going to slow it down for a moment. I know you might be like, what? We got more? So we'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. So for here, if you come here and like instantly, you see how my upper back is like, because my pelvis is like, grab a pillow or a blanket and just prop yourself up. We're looking for a long spine here. To me, that's more important than whether or not your sitting bones are down on the ground, is the length in the spine. So if you're here and this is already like you're shaking isn't bad. That's your nervous system being like, ooh, I don't usually go here. This is weird. So stay here. if there's already shaking. If not, lift up with the sternum. Use your fingertips behind you to hinge forward from the pelvis. So it's the pelvis that tilts and the spine stays long. I like to sometimes keep my fingertips behind me to push my chest forward so that my spine stays long. Flex your feet. Either close your eyes or just find the most boring, least distracting thing to look at in front of you. And then you're still in control of the breath, but slow it down. Inhale, come back up. So 2 options with the legs. You can keep them as they are. We're going to come into a side bend. That might be a lot to have both legs straight, so you can bend the left leg and bring that into the inner right thigh. Let the right arm fall on the inside and reach the left arm up overhead. The other option is you do keep the legs wide, and still the same with the arms. Whatever option you're doing, use your right elbow to pull your sternum forward and spiral it up towards your ceiling. Look up if it feels good or neutral. Where's your breath? How are you doing? Next inhale brings you up. Exhale, left arm on the inside if you need to. Switch your legs so the right foot comes in. And use your left elbow as a prop to spiral the chest open and reach the right arm up and overhead. Breathe. Inhale, come back up. Okay, legs out in front. Give them a little shake. Bend the left leg and place the left foot down on the ground in front of you. And then bend your right foot. So we're coming into the last arm balance 8 angle pose. So for some, what we're gonna do is you're gonna catch your right foot with your left hand and you're gonna stay here and you're gonna rock. This is a really, really, really awesome way to work the hip. Option 2 is you can bring the thigh and you're gonna come onto your bicep as much towards your shoulder as you can with your right foot, and then you're gonna clamp down. So for some, that involves the left hand there to help you clamp down with your right foot, and then sit up tall. So this is a great place to be. I offer these options again for anybody who's maybe not practiced with me before. I think everyone has though. I offer them as options, not as necessities. So take the option that's best suited for you, that's gonna be better for you and your nervous system and your needs. So you can stay here, or you can bring the left leg out in front and left palm down and work that. So you can also just work clamping down. If you wanna take it into an arm balance, so it's the same fundamentals. This I find sometimes maybe my hands are a little bit wider than shoulder distance. But what you do is you're gonna plant the palms down and grip the mat with the fingertips. And then left ankle comes on top of right. So notice how my right foot is hooking on my left ankle. From here, you lift up, so you push into the ground, and then you make the shelves with your elbows as you reach the right legs up and out, or both legs, not right legs. You can look at your toes. This one looks fancier than it actually is, but you squeeze the legs in for 5, 4, whatever option you're in, 3, 2, with control, lower down. Yeah, bring the legs out in front. Give them a little shake, take a breath in. Take a breath out. Beautiful. Last bit of effort I'm asking of you before Shavasana. So bend the right leg, bring it in front of you. Bend the left leg. And then cradle the leg in a way that feels good. Sometimes I like to pretend I'm doing telephone. Sometimes I like to literally cradle my leg and just sway it from side to side. Stay here, or Left leg comes up as high as it can on the left shoulder. And maybe you just plant the left foot down and you work the clamping action. That took a long time for me to understand, was what is this clamping action? So maybe you stay here, and that's working strength in the back side of the leg. Maybe you straighten the right leg and you work both palms on the ground. Maybe you hook the right foot on top of the left foot. The left foot anchors in with the right foot, and the more you lock them together, the better for that lengthen and that locking and clamping of the legs when you get there. So fundamentals, about shoulder distance as much as you can from this position. Push into the mat, grip the mat with your fingertips, and then make your little shelves. Lift the bum up and lift the legs out, straighten them to the left. Keep your chest lifted. It's easy for the chest to come down, but keep it lifted for 5. 4, push into the palms. Yeah, you can do it. 3, come on, Megan. 2, yeah. 1, lower down with control. Nice, Diane. Nice, everybody. Legs out in front, give them a shake. Good, then reach your arms out in front, belly button in, and slowly lower down onto your spine. When you get there, bring your arms or your legs in for a big cuddle. Give them a nice big squeeze. Rock from side to side and work to have your sacrum down on the ground so that your sacrum is being massaged. Get your last little fidgets out. Take a deep, 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 deep breath in. And on the exhale, release your legs and come into a Shavasana. Bring your feet wider than you normally do. Let the feet fall away from the midline. Bring the palms out wide and flip them up towards the sky. Get heavy. Get out your little fidgets, and once you've done them, take a breath in and take a breath out. Then release your breath. Now, more than ever, it's so amazing that we can come together as a community online. We can still have our yoga practice. We can still see our families and friends through the computer. We can check in. The power of mantra is incredible. It can change that downward spiral of thoughts to like panic or freaking out or anxiety or I don't know what's going to happen, to something really powerful and empowering. So let's come back to our mantra before I fully leave you in your Shavasana. Say it to yourself inside or out loud if you need to make it more legit for you. Whatever works, but you'll repeat after me quietly or loudly. I am strong. I am capable. I am fierce. I am grounded. I am steady. Let your next breath in bring you back into your body. Let your next breath in bring you back onto your mat. Start to invite in little movements. Your fingers, your toes. You can reach your arm up overhead, arms because you have two. Big long stretch through the body. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. In your own time, in your own fashion, meet me in a seat with the legs crossed or maybe on the heels. Take your time getting there. Use your body to help you get there. And eyes, I invite them to stay closed or maybe just soft in front of you for just a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong with open eyes. This one we can close the eyes or even soften them if that's better for you. It just takes away an extra sense and it helps us tune into ourselves a little bit more. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. I'm going to end today's practice with 1 Om. You can join in if you like from where you are, or you can listen. Cleansing breath first, inhale, exhale. Inhale for Om. Before you open your eyes and go about your day, I want you to think about one thing you're grateful for, especially during these crazy times. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.